hablar aquí con ustedes and then después, go back to English porque mi cerebro puede entender todo. It's not like it's difícil para mí or anything like that. Entonces...
Hello everyone, welcome to The Mindful Minimalist. My name is Sarah. On this channel I cover minimalism, mental health, mindful living, and more. If you're new here, be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you'll see all of my videos. I'm making some big changes on the channel, so be on the lookout for those. It will be a much more streamlined, consistent video style for you guys. Today we are actually doing a collaboration with the Immersion family. I am so excited to be doing this collaboration with them. We are talking about how to raise a bilingual family. In case you didn't know, we are a bilingual family. My husband's family is from Mexico. My family is from the South in the US. So our son is Mexican American and we want him to grow up speaking both languages. So we use a certain approach, but the Immersion family uses a different approach. So let's go ahead and take a look at her video explaining the method that she uses.
Hi, I'm Janet from the Immersion family, and my channel is all about family, cooking, and the occasional DIY. I'm so excited to be filming my first ever collaboration. Today's video we will be talking about raising bilingual families. In my family we use the method one parent, one language, the other parent, the other language, and that seems to be working very well for us. I will speak to them strictly just English and my husband will speak to them in just Spanish. And the same thing with our families. If we're at my husband's family's house, they speak just Spanish with them. And if they're over at my parents' house, then it's just English. That way they're constantly speaking both languages and they seem to be very fluent in both English and Spanish. Once again, thank you for having me on this channel. And if you have extra time, go ahead and check out my channel and don't forget to look me up on Instagram. Bye.
I find it fascinating that children can pick up on languages just like that. By hearing one parent in the language, one parent in another language, they can figure out which person to talk to in which language, and then soon they can just use both of them back and forth without any issues whatsoever. That is just so cool. So I want to go ahead and talk about how we raise our son to be bilingual and what our bilingual family looks like in our home. As you saw in the Immersion video, they use one parent, one language. We use a home language versus an outside language. So in our home, we always speak Spanish to our son. Now, I will say my husband and I do speak English to each other, and I do believe that has hindered my son's growth in his Spanish language, but my husband and I have spoken in English ever since we've met, and it just feels different when we talk in Spanish, so I know we need to be more consistent about it, but we do speak, I would say probably 90 to 95% of the time with our son in Spanish, and he can respond back to us in Spanish. However, I will say he does tend to speak more English right now. He gets his English from outside of the home, which would be like with his grandparents, at church, being around other friends, even certain TV shows. But that is one tip that I give, is to try to have as much of your TV in the foreign language that you want them to learn as possible. So I only allow him to watch TV in Spanish. Occasionally I'll put something on in English if he really, really wants to watch it. But music is another great way to incorporate language with your family. You can take the approach that the Immersion family took and have one parent speak one language, one parent speak another language. You can take the approach we took and have a home language and an outside language. It's okay either way. And there are even other options and other approaches outside of those that you can choose. Even if you decide, you know what, we're just gonna be a Spanglish house. We're gonna speak whatever language whenever we wanna speak it. That's perfectly fine. Code switching or switching from one language to another is such a common thing. It's so normal in bilingual people. So young children do them. My son does it all the time. He'll say something like, I want pan, or I can't even think of any more examples. He code switches and makes different sentences. He mixes and matches them. I can't think of anything that he specifically says, but I am the same. I do it as an adult, and almost all of the bilingual people that I know are also code switchers, and it's because your brain understands both words so well that it can just switch them in and out, and it still knows what you're talking about. It doesn't get confused by it. Entonces yo podría hablar aquí con ustedes and then después go back to English porque mi cerebro puede entender todo. It's not like it's difícil para mí or anything like that. Entonces code switching is something that you'll hear a lot in the bilingual world. So some other things that I wanted to point out to you. It's okay if neither one of the parents speak a different language. There's still tons of things you can do to help raise your child to be bilingual. One that I already mentioned is, well, two. TV and music. If they listen to a ton of TV and music, they're gonna pick up on so many things like grammar and vocabulary, so much culture, tons of things like that they will be learning from shows in Spanish. So obviously it's not going to lead to fluency if they just sit there and watch TV, but it will be a great help. And even for me, when I was in my journey first learning Spanish, which was a long time ago, I listened to so much music on YouTube, and so it's crazy for me to see this come just full circle. Being the teenage girl, I was 14 when I started studying Spanish, being that teenage girl, just shutting myself there in my room and studying Spanish because I loved it. I would get on YouTube and watch so many videos. So it's really cool to see the full circle of now I'm here on YouTube and I'm telling you how you can be bilingual or raise your bilingual family. So I feel honored that I have become fluent in Spanish, and I am far from perfect. So if you're a Spanish speaker, please don't go in the comments and like beat me up for my Spanish, because I do not claim to be perfect in any way. Spanish was not my first language. Like I said, I was 14. So Spanish was hard for me. I loved it so much, and it still is one of my biggest passions in life. I love languages, I love teaching. I'm such a nerd if you can't tell already. But it was hard for me because it wasn't my first language, and I was already older. I was 14, and so once you get past a certain age, I would say probably 10 or so or older, maybe even 6, 8, 10, somewhere in that range, it's going to get a lot harder. It's really hard for your brain to just catch on and pick up so easily as when you're younger. Children are in this very sensitive stage, this sensitive development period when they're younger, and that's when they can just soak everything up like sponges and just take it in so much faster than we as adults can. And this is especially true when it comes to languages, and we have studies and research that prove all of this. So the sooner you start working with your children, the better. I have just been rambling on and on, coming from the video point about my experience and journey. So let's move on to the next thing that you can do, which is hire a Spanish speaking, or whatever language it may be, babysitter or nanny, or even just go on some play dates with people in other languages. I've done that before. You can find different mom groups online, and so I'm in several mom groups, and in one of them I found several other Spanish speakers who were interested in having their kids get together for a bilingual play date. So we got together and let the kids speak in Spanish together, and it was just really cool to watch them interact with one another. So if you are lucky enough to live where there's an immersion school, I highly recommend sending your children to an immersion school. That is going to be one of the fastest ways for them to learn. Those would be my main tips. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video and that it's been helpful for you. Be sure to subscribe to my channel and like the video. I will see you guys for our next one. Bye.